What's going on, guys? JSGC 171 here, and we're here for another football transfer update for Man City. The last one coming out on Sunday. We're back into the system for Fridays again, so hopefully we'll be able to stick to the Fridays from here on out through to the end of the transfer window. So this time with Man City, I'm going to be moving on to the outs first rather than with the ins, because there's more to talk about with the outs than there are with the ins, because Man City haven't brought anybody in. But a few players have left. So first we're going to cover is Pablo Mari is headed out to NAC Breda on loan. He was at Girona, I think, last year, or last season, should I say. He's now headed to Breda, our other team that we own around Europe. Well, not own, but in a feeder with, if you get what I mean. Just like Girona are and Breda. So Man City will send a lot of youngsters out to Breda who are in the Eredivisie, and Girona who are now in La Liga. Angelino has left. I think he's headed out there now. I'll just have a check on that one. And whilst we're mentioning that, we'll move on to also in La Liga. And that is that Alaves have signed from Man City permanently this time for £1.7 million, it's to be believed, Ruben Sorino. Now, if you check out my Man City loan report, one of the loan reports has got how he performed last season with Alaves. They've snapped him up, £1.7 million, so they've invested a little bit into him. So there's one youngster that we won't be seeing again at Man City. So all the best to Ruben Sorino. You know, hopefully we'll get some updates over the coming season for how he's performing in La Liga. Another player that's left is Clichy. He's been released, obviously, on a free contract. He's now got a new club. He's headed to Turkey this time to sign for Başakşehir, I think their name. Team's pronounced in Istanbul, the capital of Turkey. So he's headed to the capital of Turkey. He's not signed for one of the big Turkish teams, but he has signed for a new club. He's got himself a new club. So all the best to Gael Clichy. Clichy leaving Man City with contract running out, and his physical presence was kind of just starting to decline, wasn't it, over the last season or two. So I still reckon he could have done a job in the Championship, but I imagine a move to Turkey, move abroad makes sense for him, I suppose. So we wish Gael Clichy all the best there. Hopefully he'll make a success of his career in Turkey. That, I think, could suit everybody. So I think that's it for the outs for this time. We've already covered a few of the others. I don't think we've got any updates on Nolito. I know Sevilla are trying to sign him. I'm not sure if it's permanently or on loan. I think Man City are trying to get rid of everyone permanently, and I think that's what the hold-up is with these players leaving. You see, because they're after so many players and they want the money for them, that they're struggling to match the wage for the players, so contribute towards the wage. They've also, if they want to sign them permanently, got to contribute with a fee. So it's a bit strange. Just a quick update, Angelino has joined NAC Breda for next season. So there you go, feeder club. So I think that covers just about everything that needs to be covered with the outs that's factual. I mean, there's a few bits in the press going around that Joe Hart was wanted by Newcastle. That was according to the Newcastle Chronicle, I think it was. But I've not heard anything along them lines. I mean, the Newcastle will even have, you know, 10, 15 million pounds before Joe Hart. I really don't know. Aston Villa were after him, 10, 15 million pounds, and they're apparently after him on loan as well. I know Aston Villa's got quite a bit of money, and they're a large, very large club in the Championship. But Joe Hart, World Cup year coming up next year, he needs to be playing top-flight regular football. Now, I don't want to be slipping to a second tier. England aren't going to have Joe Hart as their number one when he's playing Championship, when they've got players like Forster, Butland, Pickford playing in the top-flight Premier League, playing for clubs that are probably going to be finishing in the top half of the Premier League. He's going to miss out on his spot. So for him to move there, I'm afraid to say that's just going to be money motivated, because I don't really see why. He needs to, for Joe Hart to leave, he needs to lower his wage, really. I mean, I know Premier League clubs, not many of them have got, need new goalkeepers, so there's not a lot of choice for him there. However, he could head abroad. I mean, there's abundance of teams in top-flight leagues all around Europe that want goalkeepers. He went to Torino on loan, Serie A. He hadn't had the best of times, but he's had an okay time there. There's no reason why he couldn't head somewhere else abroad either. You know, he needs to broaden his horizon, otherwise he is going to end up as Aston Villa's goalkeeper next season. and he won't be in the England team. Guarantee it. Absolutely right now. You're not going to have Aston Villa's goalkeeper in the Championship as England's #1. I doubt he'd even make the squad of 23, considering if Butland, Forster and Pickford maintain a solid season and stay injury-free, they've all got better cases to be in that England squad than Hart if he's playing in a lower division. Simple as that. You need to be playing against the best teams week in, week out. You play for an international club, a team that has got a lot of choices in his position. So Joe Hart really does need to try and sort out something, otherwise he'll end up either being Villa's keeper or Man City's #3. I think that just concludes today's transfer update for the outgoings. I don't think there's anything else to report on. I'm hoping next week we might have some further developments on maybe Nasri or Mangala or Fernando or Delph, who's been linked with Stoke. Apparently Mark Hughes wants him. So hopefully we'll have a bit more to talk about with some of the fringe players and the players that have returned back from loan, the first teamers. Now, with the incomings, Man City again still haven't signed anybody. However, they are meant to be closing in on a couple of players. Now, Benjamin Mendy's deal isn't going to be concluded anytime soon, but I'm hoping by the time pre-season they head over to America, which is in about 10 days' time. Don't quote me on that, but I think they're heading out in about 10 days' time. So they've got another week off on holiday, so they're probably reporting back later next week / early into the week after. So we could do with signing at least a couple more players so they can get used to how Pep Guardiola wants to play, and it'd be a delight if they can sign a couple of Premier League players because they're not all too familiar with Pep's system. I mean, we could sign Dani Alves the day before a match and he could just slot in and he'd know exactly what he's doing. Whereas if we had Kyle Walker, it'd probably take him a month or two. So, you know, and Benjamin Mendy's not all too used to playing with Pep's system. So we really do need a full pre-season with Benjamin Mendy. He's only young. So we could do with him being signed up within the next week. I'm not sure if it's going to, but I'd love if it was. Now, we're also meant to be closing in. I've mentioned Dani Alves on a free contract. Now, he's bought up his contract at Juventus, so he's obviously moving somewhere. He's on holiday at the moment. Nothing much is happening there. I imagine he might sign. This is my thought. Don't quote me on this again. But my thought is that when we head over to the United States for the tour, Dani Alves will sign at some point then, because he's going to be on holiday for at least another maybe week or two, enjoying his time off. So he'll head over then to the United States, because I think he's in Brazil at the moment. And if he is in South America or in Brazil at the moment, then in terms of getting flights back to the UK, it's probably it's easier and quicker to head to the United States. So let's just put 2 and 2 together here, and hopefully we get 4, not 5, that he'll meet Man City in the United States. Now, I think Chelsea are also out there. So if they are, he could head there as well. They've been linked, but Man City, I do think, is the destination for Dani Alves. It'll be a bitter blow if he isn't, and that all but confirms that Kyle Walker will be coming. And that negotiations is nowhere near. I mean, Man City, I'm not even sure have made a bid as of yet. I know they made a bid a few weeks back that was reported. Apparently, that was around 25 to 30 million pound. I mean, that's just under half of what Tottenham value him at. They value him at around 50 million pound. I think 40 million might get him. 45, I think, certainly will. So I really don't understand the hold-up. They seem to be playing a patient game, and it's a little bit frustrating, if I'm completely honest with you. The attacking situation, Sanchez, obviously we know Man City are after him. We've still not had that update that Sanchez went on about last week's press conference, where he says that he's decided his career. But I did tweet, if you do follow me on Twitter, which I'll just leave my username down here now. If you do follow me on that, you'll have seen me tweet saying that with Sanchez, as they've signed Lacazette now, Arsenal, and they're also after Thomas Lemar, they're spending a lot of money. So I imagine they're spending they're going to have to sell a player, and they've not sold anybody as of yet. I mean, they're after selling Giroud. I mean, Giroud's not going to fetch a lot of money. They're after selling perhaps Oxlade-Chamberlain, but that move doesn't make sense for me. So Sanchez is unhappy at Arsenal, apparently. So if he wants out, it makes sense to sell him this summer. And I think Man City are going to be very patient with this, and they're just going to have one offer there, ready for Arsenal, and at some point in the summer window between now and the end of August, Arsenal will accept it because they won't want Sanchez to leave on a free. They certainly don't want an unhappy player there that's not going to be giving his all. It's going to tarnish the team, and it's going to tarnish him. So it would make sense to sell him, and with no one from abroad coming in for him just yet, Bayern Munich want him, but Arsenal, for more money, could sign better quality of players selling to Man City, so that move would make sense for both parties. Arsenal really do need to see a bigger picture here and say we get more money, we can sign better players and we can profit a little bit more from it than just selling him to be stubborn. Whether that means they're going to ask for more from Man City remains to be seen. But that Sanchez deal isn't close, nowhere near. Everyone keeps saying, oh, he's going to be signing today, he's going to be signing at some point next week. Nothing agreed. Nowhere near on the fee either. Same as Kyle Walker. Them two really aren't close deals. Benjamin Mendy, £40 million, apparently is close. Dani Alves is all but done in my opinion, unless somebody else steps in and beats Man City to the punch, but I don't think so. Now, just got to end the transfer videos on probably the biggest transfer of them all, which is Clichy Iheanacho. Clichy Iheanacho is closing in on a move to Leicester. West Ham pulled out of the deal yesterday, which means Leicester now are left with their £25 million fee, which has apparently now been agreed. My understanding is that it has been agreed. So they're just waiting for Iheanacho to come back, have his medical and agree personal terms. I imagine his agent and everyone's negotiating personal terms right now with Iheanacho. He is on holiday, but I'm sure Iheanacho has a phone, so I'm sure his agent will be keeping up to date on everything that's happening. I'm sure something might get agreed perhaps today, certainly maybe over the weekend into early next week. I'm sure something may well be agreed, and I'm hoping to have some kind of statement or picture or something of Iheanacho arriving, which will all but confirm that he's leaving. When that does happen, and it looks like, and he does leave, I'm not hoping, but I reckon it'll probably be within the next week, certainly before my next transfer update. I will do a video on Iheanacho leaving and showing all the Leicester fans what he is capable of, all to the Man City fans, and what we'll be missing. We've all loved Clichy Iheanacho. We've watched him grow from being 17, 18 into someone that's like nearly 21. But we've watched him become into an exceptional player. Unfortunately, he just doesn't suit the system, and unfortunately he's got Gabriel Jesus and Sergio Aguero ahead of him. He's never going to dethrone them whilst he's getting fringe time. He needs to start games. A loan would have made sense, but I think Man City want the money. I think they just want to say, here you go, sorry Clichy, let's see what you can do now, and sell to the Premier League makes sense. And if he makes a success of it, then Man City should put a buyback clause, which is apparently £40 million, which I think might have put West Ham off. But West Ham have been put off everybody. Strange transfer system for West Ham, but never mind. So that concludes the video. So that's the transfer update done again for this week. So I'll have another one next week. We'll have the Premier League transfer update up tomorrow. Don't forget to check out my second channel for all my alcohol videos that I've moved over there. Mixed. I'll leave a link at the end of the video for it and check it out. Don't forget to subscribe if you wish. Don't forget to subscribe to his channel as well if you're new. And don't forget to smash the like button as well. I love seeing all the likes on these Man City videos. Makes me extremely happy. So much love, guys. So I hope you have a nice day. It's been JSGC 171. Hope you have a nice day. Peace. Ciao for now.